I've been dreaming about owning a Super Duty since I was probably in middle school, which is probably like 15 years ago now. Crazy, time flies by. But just always something that I wanted. I always loved the way the trucks looked, the way the trucks performed. But let's face it, you know, when you're middle school and high school, it's just not practical for probably 95% of us out there. You know, my family wasn't loaded. It's not like they could go out and buy me a $50,000, $60,000 truck at the time. So, you know, I bought what I could afford. High school, 05 F-150 with 100,000 miles, STX. It turned out to be a great truck. Made a lot of money, snow plowing through the years, and made a lot of good videos with that truck. Once that truck deceased, moved on to the Chevy 1500. Had that truck for about a year and a half, 2 years. It got me by, it got me moved into this house, but I was never really happy with it. Towing trailers with it is really where it lacked. You know, I put the gooseneck hitch in there, I put the airbags in the back, which in hindsight, that was probably a terrible idea. You know, I'm happy that the dealership has that truck now. But it just never performed like I expected it to perform. So here we are, about 2 years later since I bought that Chevy 1500, and I finally bought, I can honestly say this is about my dream truck. This is a really basic F250. You know, it's not like a Platinum, it's not a King Ranch. Sure, I'd love to have that, but for my sake, this is my dream truck. It has the diesel engine, which I've always dreamed about. It's a Power Stroke. It's an XL, but it has this STX package, which STX is basically, if I understand it correctly, an XL base model, but the STX is kind of like the trim level. So, you know, you have a chrome bumper in the rear as opposed to like the black painted bumper. So I mean, it just looks a little bit nicer, but in terms of the inside, it's got, you know, the rubber floors, it's got vinyl seats, which honestly I kind of like that. I prefer vinyl seats and rubber floors over carpet and cloth seats any day of the week. I mean, you'll see it in a minute here. The interior is actually pretty nice, but so far I'm so impressed with this truck. It's got 475 horsepower, 1,075 foot-pounds of torque. It's mind-boggling, incredible. Yes, it's a modern diesel, so it does have the emission stuff on there, but you know, it's been quite a few years since Ford implemented the emission stuff. I feel like they sorted out a lot of the kinks in the earlier years, and again, this is a brand new truck, so I'm not expecting to have problems for the next 100,000 miles. We'll see, but that's what I'm expecting. So yes, I did buy this truck brand new. I bought it out of Connecticut, and the retail price of this truck was around $57,000. I qualified for about $2,000 in incentives, which that gets deducted right off the price, and I was able to work down the price another $2,500. So at the door, the price of the truck ended up being around, I think, between $52,000 and $53,000. Now, the Chevy. I got a really good trade-in value on the Chevy, and that's part of the reason why I decided to pull the trigger at this moment. I checked the trade-in value of my Chevy prior to COVID, and it was at $20,000. And here we are, you know, a year and a half into COVID, and the value of that truck actually went up about $4.5 grand. So the trade-in value of the Chevy was about $2,500. They gave me $2,400, which I was fine with that. You know, it needed tires, it needed brakes, had the gooseneck hitch in there. I mean, they're going to have a real hard time finding a buyer for that, so I was okay with that. Also needed an oil change. So there's that. I put another $13,000 down, and then I financed the rest, and my monthly payments are about $375. So just if you guys are kind of curious about how this works out financially, and let me tell you, I've worked my ass off to earn this truck. I work my main job, and then I take my vacation days from my main job and I go work construction in the city. I also do this YouTube thing, and any kind of small side jobs I can find, I work them. So this is not out of the reach for anybody, but you just have to get out there and work your ass off in order to earn something like this. So right now I'm going to do a quick overview of the truck. I'll take you around the truck. This isn't going to be a full review because I have less than 1,000 miles on the truck so far. So I'll just take you through the truck, show you what it looks like, some of the features, and then that'll probably be it for this video. So let's go check out the inside of this truck. Although this is technically an XL trim level, this truck has a lot of nice features, and that's really what attracted me towards it. So, steering wheel. It has a tilting and telescopic steering wheel, so I can push that in or out, which that is an awesome feature. It has a bed light switch, which that's pretty standard on these trucks now. This one does not have adjustable pedals, not a big deal. Lumbar support. You can tilt the seat back. It tilts back about there. It's not like the new F-150s that tilt back all the way flat. It has cruise control settings. You also have Bluetooth in here, so I can make a phone call. And this actually has this nice screen right here, and this has, I think it's called Ford Sync. So basically what happens is I can connect my iPhone to this screen. I think this is like an Apple CarPlay type thing. So I connect my iPhone in there, and there's a series of apps that'll actually work seamlessly with this screen, such as navigation, Spotify, your text messaging apps, stuff like that. YouTube, and I don't think any video streaming apps work through this, so it's not like you can pull up YouTube and start watching videos while you're driving, for your passenger, of course, but for navigation, syncs right up with my phone, which is awesome. Let's talk about the four-wheel drive on this truck for a second, which it's pretty darn bad. This truck has a electronic locking rear differential, so anytime I want, whether this truck is in two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, high or low, I can pull this knob, and this will electronically lock the rear differential. Now, if I were to turn this to 4 high or 4 low, I could also pull this knob. So therefore, that's a true three-wheel drive, meaning the rear axle is locked. And then one of the two wheels in the front are definitely going to be getting power. But you can also lock the front axle with these manual locking hubs. So if you come out here and you turn these to lock, so you twist them to the right, you can lock the front axle. And what that means is this truck now becomes a true four-wheel drive truck, meaning that the engine's power is equally divided, or it should be about equally divided, 25% to every tire. Which means that you definitely don't want to do that on pavement, but I mean, if you're really stuck, you can make it so that this truck will have every wheel spinning, which is awesome. Alright, going over the HVAC controls, they're simple, and I really like simplicity. If you want to turn up the fan, you turn it up. If it's too hot in here, you turn it down cool. Hit the AC, turn the AC compressor on, In a matter of half a second, you can adjust the temperature and where you want that air flowing to. On the Chevy, it was a bit more advanced. You had these up and down buttons to control the temperature, and if I had it set for 80 and I wanted it set down to 60, I'd have to press this button like 20 times to drop that temperature down to 60 degrees where I wanted it. As with this truck, it's simple, but it's effective, and I'd much prefer a simple HVAC control system like this over the Chevy, so I'm loving this. This truck has different driving modes, so if I have the truck on and I press this little knob right here, I can set it to like eco mode, I can set it to wet conditions, deep snow, mud, normal driving conditions, and tow and haul. So that's nice that the truck computer will kind of tune itself to the conditions on the road. This truck also has, this isn't technically a true engine brake, this is more of an exhaust brake, but I have tried this a couple times going down some hills, and this thing really slows down the truck. It's a really nice feature. You do have to manually turn this on every time that you start the truck. So normally if I'm about to go down a large hill, I'll press that button once, and then the exhaust brake automatically comes on. There's your traction control, hazards. This truck also came with these upfitter switches, which this is I think a couple $100 option, but the upfitter switches are awesome. Basically what happens, there is a junction box in the hood that's pre-wired to these upfitter switches. So if you want to add accessories, all you do is tie into that box under the hood, and then you can just flip these switches and turn on your accessories like so. There's a little bit more to it than that, but that's just a quick, simple explanation. Sunglass holder. This is to turn on, I believe, the outlet. So there is a 110 outlet right here, which 400 watt max. That's actually pretty powerful. Now, one thing I hate about this truck, the sun visor has no mirror on the driver's side, but there's actually a mirror for the girlfriend on the passenger side. So if she wants to you know, check her makeup or something like that. The back here, plenty of room. You could literally set up like a twin-size air mattress back here, which I actually might do because I've always wanted to go on a road trip with a truck like this. But there is literally enough room as to where you could set up an air mattress and sleep back here. And of course you can put these seats back down like so. I love that there's a nice handle up here. It's a big step. I am gonna have to get some running boards, but look at all this leg room. You know, I'm 5'7" and I got probably 1.4 inches of room between my knees and the seat in front of me where I normally position it. So just a ton of room back here. Again, here's a look at the rubber floors. You know, I love the rubber floors. It may not be for everybody, but for somebody like me, it's just so easy to clean. If the dog's back here and the dog throws up, you know, you just wipe it out. Simple cup holders back here. I wish there were vents back here. I know they're here on higher level, higher trim level trucks, but you know, they're not really necessary. There is a cigarette lighter back there. So, yeah, at least there's cup holders back here. Truck does come with a pretty nice set of rims and comes with these Goodyear Wrangler tires, which these are pretty good tires actually. We'll see how they hold up. You know, Goodyear is a pretty good brand in my opinion. Chrome bumper in the rear. This tailgate locks with the truck, and there is a backup camera. I think that's standard on all trucks now. But when I lock the truck, this tailgate locks, so I don't have to worry about tailgate thieves. It is not a slow closing tailgate, but it is aluminum, so it's not that heavy. There is no step back here, which that's kind of unfortunate. I know, of course, you go higher up in trim levels. There is that forward step that kind of comes out and comes down, and you have that little handle to grab onto. So getting in and out of the truck without a step is pretty challenging. Really, the only way to do it is come to the side, step up on the tire, climb up that way, or you could have the tailgate up. Probably the best bet is to step right here, and then you can climb up here. So, you know, for the base level trucks, not really a great way to get in and out of the truck, but I can live with that. I love the badging, STX, F250, 6.7 liter, Power Stroke. Truck's filthy, I gotta wash it, but love the badging. And here's a quick peek at the power plant. 6.7 turbo diesel. There is a lot going on in here. A lot of electronics, a lot of hoses, a lot of components. Honestly, a lot of things to fail, but from what I've read, the reliability of these modern diesels is really good. So, of course, we'll see how well this thing holds up, but there is a lot going on in there. And also, just in terms of suspension, in the rear of this truck, you know, conventional leaf springs in the front, coil suspension. It's got like that traction bar. Of course, you know, shocks on every corner of the truck. Handles really well for a 3/4 ton truck. Handles better than the Chevy, in fact. You know, taking this truck between home and work, hitting those same bumps that I would with the Chevy, this truck definitely handles about 30% better than the Chevy, which is pretty astounding, if you ask me. I don't know. Just really happy with the truck so far, really happy with where my life's headed. A lot of good things are happening right now. A lot of doors are opening up. And not to mention, I have a lot of good support from you guys that watch this channel, so I want to personally thank each and every one of you. I hope that everybody has a good year, but I'm definitely going to be posting some more videos before the year's up. We're supposed to be getting a snowstorm this week, Wednesday into Thursday. And it looks like it might be a big snowstorm, so we'll get to test out the Craftsman lawn tractor. Ordered a set of chains, probably do a video on that, and got to get the snowblower going. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.